Well, this is like day 8 of quarantine, so there's my bike, and there's the cigar factory, and here I am. We're gonna take a hike and see what we can find so we can work on another project. So here we go. That's where I got the other pot. It's really pretty out. I'm so thankful that I can be out here and get some fresh air and listen to the birds. But we need to find, I think I want to do a fairy garden. I have clay, not very much. We might need some rocks and some air plants. Let's see what we can find. This reminds me of when I was a kid, because I grew up on Walter Reed Estate, and it was like 167 acres and all kinds of abandoned buildings and weird stuff. So I like that. Let's see what's back here. Ooh, look at this. Oh, and there's a gourd. That's a pretty good score. Let's see. I think we just found what we needed. Feels a little like The Shining, but in the summertime. But at least it's pretty. I think it's around. Oh, look at this little guy. He's coming in for a visit. Hey, little friend. Here he comes. He's coming to say hi. Oh, he's gone. So I think it's March 28th. I'm not even sure. And it's about 81 degrees. And I don't know. I guess this is just kind of interesting to document. So I am. Well, that plate cleaned up really nicely. I can't believe it was out there, and it's really exactly what I was looking for. So far we have a wine glass, some clay, and a plate. So it's amazing what you can find when you put your mind to it. We need some rocks, and I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go look for some rocks and maybe some air plants. Well, we didn't have to look very far. I think these are going to be perfect. I'm not seeing anything that even looks like an air plant. Boy, as a kid, I sure would have been climbing all of these trees, that's for sure. All right, let's see. Plan B. I don't see any air ferns anywhere. Let's look in the back. Keep out. Okay. There's some bigger rocks. This is a good score. Still don't see any air plants. Well, I'm in Georgia. Maybe they don't have them. So we might have to make some out of clay. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that was here. Very nice. So this is our score so far. I wanted to do a fairy garden, and believe it or not, lo and behold, we found pretty much everything that we need for a fairy garden. So I guess if you just put your mind to things, sometimes you can make it happen. So I found this wine glass. We found this blue plate for a dish for the bottom of a pot. And then I found all these rocks. I took from the top, the surface, because those were the cleanest ones. So, which is fine. I mean, it's earth, but. And then I found these large rocks. So I might use some of these to hold my stick in place, because I think I'm going to add some Spanish moss. I also found this pine cone, which is partially eaten. So I think painting it green, it will look like a succulent. So I'm going to do the same thing to these. I'm not going to eat them, but I'm going to peel the bottom part off and try to make succulents out of these. I also have a little tea light at home, so I think I'm going to make this into a little house.
Reboot, I'm cold red, my service automated, like data running through my veins. Got you distracted, subconscious overloaded. Careful, don't pull the cord on me. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm used to fly to get up in your. We know it's charging. I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating. I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over.
So I want an air fern. We couldn't find an air fern, so we're gonna make one out of clay, more or less, kind of, sort of, like a succulent, kind of a air fern creation. But we wanted to kind of hang down over the glass a little bit. So we're gonna use tin foil, and we're gonna set it up right on our baking sheet. And then we're going to take our clay and sculpt it into really long leaves. So one end's going to be really skinny and the other one will be a little bit fatter. But I like to pull like it's taffy, and then I can get a nice, really nice point on the end. So you get a few of these, and then I'll have like a center that I can put into my rocks, and I'm gonna add from there. Now, this way, it'll cook just the way that I want it. So I'm gonna add more leaves to this.
You can't take my crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my
We're gonna start working on our little house. So I've been playing with clay for a really long time, and if you sculpt clay to glass and bake it, the clay will stick to the glass. So that's what we're gonna do now. So we're gonna make a door first. Okay, so that's good, right about there. I'm at about a 1/4 inch from the bottom.
But you don't get that courage, 'cause you can handle my game. No, my drive's a puzzle. 'cause you can fall into my pain. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up in your reload, discharging. Not gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating, I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be here, 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be here, 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown. I won't waste my love on your heart. Sorry 'cause I can't get what I want, and I don't need you. Discharging, I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating, I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over 'cause you.
All right, well, here's our masterpiece. It looks super cool. We baked it in the oven for about a half hour, maybe a little bit longer at 275. And then I let it cool because it gets harder as it gets cool. So let's go over a couple things. We used Sculpey, and we're gonna paint this now. So we're gonna be using these. Again, don't use utensils that you're going to be eating off of with Sculpey. It says it right on the package, but just be careful with stuff like that. Use pencils or whatever, as we did when we did our wood graining. So I'm going to paint everything, and yes, it's glass, and I don't have any glass paint except for this one. But I'm really not worried about it because we're not drinking out of it. It's literally going to sit in a fairy garden and pretty much undisturbed, except for picking it up to turn the little tea light off and whatnot. So not worried about it. Anyway, I'm going to use a pounce brush like this. It's a chip brush. And I'm going to dip in the paint, and then I'm going to pounce on my glass. But I don't want to go too aggressively where I'm going to be knocking things off of my glass. Now, worst case scenario, if you knock something off, you can glue it back on with crazy glue. I just don't have very much. And again, this whole project is about being under quarantine and finding things that I already have. So this is what I have. And so I'm going to pounce, and let it dry on there. And I'm using apple barrel because that's what I have. So I've chosen a variety of some browns and some greens. Fortunately, I have a lot of paint because I do paint parties. But if you have kids at home, I'm guessing, or crafts, everybody loves to do crafts, that I'm hoping that you have some paint. And you can do this in any color that you want. But I chose greens and browns. This is a nice, deep, mossy green right here. And this is kind of bright, so I might tone it down with a little bit of brown. Now, the thing I do want to avoid is this window in here and this window. We're going to take yellow paint and go on the inside of the glass and paint as a little window. So we can't see the tea light, but we are going to see the light coming through here because we're painting on glass, and it's not going to be completely opaque.
Reboot, I'm cold red, my service automated, like data running through my veins. Got you distracted, subconscious overloaded. Careful, don't pull the cord on me.
our findings look a lot different now than they did earlier. And we did it with Sculpey and a wine glass and some things that we found around the yard. Pretty incredible and super fun. Wine glass before, wine glass after. So the only candle I could find was this one. And you have to put it in water in order to activate it. So I just cut a plastic cup down and I'm gonna bury that into the stones and it'll be fine because I'm not going to the store. So that's what we found. And I found some smaller rocks, which I'm gonna assemble in there as a path. So anyway, let's get this put together. Ready, set, assemble.
Follow white rabbit. I'm taking potions, call me Alice. Watch me grow taller. Yeah, rabbit's watches in his pocket. Yeah, he stays late, but he leads me so I follow.
Well, that was super fun. I think it's adorable, and I hope I inspired you to do something, even if it's not exactly the same, but that's not what it's about. It's about inspiration, and it's about staying home, and I am so fortunate, again, that I have this studio space to myself right now, because all of my studio art buddies decided that I should have the space because they all have studios at home to work in. So I really appreciate that. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you. I'm getting a lot done. If next time you think you're bored, tune into Jody Drawn Out, because you just never know what the Mind Palace is going to offer. So you always have to stay tuned, stay close. So until then, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay home. All right, we'll see you here on Thursday.
He leads me so I follow. Wandering around in Wonderland.